They like it when you know,
Yeah.
you don't go, well, yeah, well, I don't know.
Or yes, or no.
Oh, God, don't you hate
Yeah.
those?
Yeah.
Well, I've done so many interviews, you know, that I kind of know what the media people want, so I try to work with them.
We ready, Valley? Okay.
Ready, set, go?
Yeah. Looking back on the decision to go topless now, how do you feel about having done
I think it was the right thing to do because I don't know any other way to, or any other way that I could have gotten into show business. And obviously, I was hamming it up when I was dancing around the tables, and subconsciously, I must have wanted to be on the stage, you know. So I don't think it was a mistake at all. I think it was evolution.
it? At the time, how did you feel?
I felt many different things. I felt, should I really be doing this? But that only lasted a few seconds going down the piano, and it was too late to jump off anyway. And then there was all that media attention, and I thought, well, this is a way to get into show business. And I thought it was okay.
What happened after? So the Condor Club was the first one to go topless with you, right? And then how soon after that did all these other businesses spring up?
Oh, about 4 months, 5 months, 6 months later, maybe a year later. I'd say 6 months to a year. Sweating, it's hot.
We're almost
Oh, you wanted to ask me about my career now. Don't forget
yes,
that.
I was getting to that. Why don't we talk about the end of your stay at the Condor Club and then how that pitched you into what you're doing now?
Good idea.
Tell me how you, under what circumstances you left the Condor Club.
Well, the circumstances was that the owner at that time was letting the club go down the drain. He was not fixing the interior or the exterior. The stage just looked like a shambles in my eyes. And to get him to do something would be like an act of God saying, okay, fix the stage. You know, I mean, it really couldn't get him to do anything. You'd work sometimes with a sound system that was distorted all the time. And by that time, my big thing with the audience was a lot of talking to them and communicating and singing and doing comedy besides taking off my clothes, so that I really needed that sound system. And so here I was spending a lot of money on my, on my costuming, my wigs, my this, my that, and it was like very, very unbalanced. So that was one of the things. And the next thing is when you let someplace deteriorate to that extent, people are going to notice that because people have made comments about it. You know, even the media sometimes made comments about the way the place looked. And so when you let something go to that extent, well,
Why bother?
well, no, it was. I bothered, but it was like I felt like I was holding the world on my shoulders, and then business would drop off a little bit, but he decided he wanted to take it out on me, and he wanted me to take a tremendous salary cut. And I know it was and he just wanted me to work on the weekends. So he wanted to take advantage of my name and make some more money for himself without putting any more money into the business to rejuvenate it. And this all came down on Thanksgiving of '85. And I decided then, and with my lawyer, that I'd rather make no more money at all than to continue under those circumstances. And I thought to take a salary cut was very demeaning. And after I'd worked so many years and so hard and made so many people rich, that my pride would not let me do it, and I'd rather make no money than just gratis money. No way.
Why do you think people started to lose interest in the topless? Why do you think business was on the decline?
because they weren't doing extravaganzas like Las Vegas. I mean, the breasts have been there for years and years and years before the Topless. I mean, there was doing nudes coming on with these gallant costumes and everything. And I could keep my show up, and people, I did have my following, would come and see me, okay? But then, you know, you can't, you know, after people start hearing different things, you know, about things going on around the street, drug traffic and things like that, you're going to lose a little bit of your audience. And I think that it mainly dropped off because people run things into the ground and they let it drop off. I mean, I keep my following, you know, so, but I keep myself up.
Do you think it had anything to do with like the video cassettes, you know, that people could rent a movie at home and have it at home the way they couldn't? Like
I think that's part of it, but see, that's what I'm saying is that, sure, they can see, you can see breasts any time of the day right now, you know, and so I think, well, why go on there and see it if you can see it on TV? But thank God that I didn't just do that, so they would come to see me as a personality, you know, and I guess I was a landmark or a couple of landmarks or something, so they would think of me like the Golden Gate Bridge or Twin Peaks. So I didn't lose my audience, but they lost their audiences.
Tell me about what you're doing now.
What am I doing now? Well, I still have my champagne and lace lingerie for the entertaining person, mail order, and we do shows, and we do in-home parties, corporate parties, and I still have my adult, controversial fantasy line. Can I say the number? It's 976-DODA. I hope this is not censored. And right now, the best thing in my life right now is my rock and roll show, and it's called CAROL DODA and Her Lucky Stiffs. So I'm really, really pleased with that because we're recording, we're connected with a big-time rock and roll producer and performer, Greg Kinn, and we're playing all over the place. We're playing at the big-time places that all the rock people play at. So that's what I'm doing right now, rocking and rolling.
Well, did you, during the 60s, did you go to any of the big rock concerts?
When you work 7 days a week, I mean, I didn't even have time to go to the bathroom. Really. I did go to Grateful Dead one time, yes. I remember that now.
I assume you dropped acid at the concert.
No, I never did take drugs. I never did smoke, and I never did drink. So felt like Rebecca of Sunnybrook Farm working on, you know, and it was weird. I didn't really do anything that other people did. In fact, I was on this taking vitamins, and I met Jack LaLanne, and he came into the club and seen my show, and he inspired me into bodybuilding and into vitamins, and so I've been taking vitamins. So everybody else was drinking and getting loaded. I was taking vitamins and working out at the gym, so it was really like a whole different thing for me.
What do you think about women's lib?
I think it should have been here a long time ago, long before it has or was conceived.
Why do you think it took so long to get to this point?
Repression, political repression. I guess, you know, it's mainly because I guess men were mostly in the political field at the time. So I don't want to say, yeah, it was all the men, it's all their fault. No, I don't want to say that because it was just a way of life that I guess from the pioneer days that was the way of life. And I guess when people get used to something, they keep doing the same thing. And so it just, it should have happened long before it did.
You've gotten flack from feminists in the past, I'm sure. When did that start? When did you start hearing from women that, you know, they thought you were contributing to the image of women as a sex object? When did they start doing that? What year did you start getting that kind of...
Oh, I guess 68, 69, something like that. But then I would do counteract interviews or counter-punching interviews, whatever you want to call it, and just say, well, hey, I'm making money. I'm getting paid for what I'm doing. But you see, just because, I mean, they think you're using your body, you're being exposed. Well, aren't we exposing our brains every day? Aren't we exposing our hands and our feet? If you're a secretary, weren't they exposing different parts of their anatomy? I mean, I'm not talking sexual, but or whatever, you know? Or maybe I am. I don't know what I'm talking about. But sure, I got a lot of flack from that. But then I think I had some good statements about it. And I said, well, I'm getting paid for what I do. And hey, I'm probably the most liberated person you'll ever see.
Define a liberated woman for me.
I think one that can take care of herself, one that cares about her fellow man and woman, person that would share in different things, a woman that is innovative in any fields of any different careers, whether it be political, show business, whether a woman is a housewife. She certainly can be a liberated housewife because it takes a hell of a woman to run a house.
Do you ever feel like you paved the way, in a way, for women's?
I hope that I contributed, but I don't think I paved the way completely. I think that many different women, and probably some men did too, paved the way for women. I think maybe I had a small contribution, and I'm proud if I did.
Tell me about what that contribution would be. How do you think you contributed to women's liberation?
Showing that a woman can be in a career and make money and be in the public eye and, you know, have media attention and have my own viewpoints and do my own thinking. I don't know, this would take all day, I think, for me to tell you this. I don't know if we have that much time.
Okay. I didn't really hear that. You may have asked. I'm about to ask it. This one. Okay.
What's that?
Okay, just two more questions. You're a rock and roll fan. Did you go to the Beatles concerts? Were you able to go
No,
to those?
no, it was. It really was. I've never seen one Beatles concert. The only thing I've ever seen is like, well, you see it on TV now, but I bought all their albums, and Paul was my favorite. So.
Well, how do you think San Francisco changed during the 60s? How did
All of it?
Yeah, the whole city. How did if you had to describe what was different about it in 1970 and in 1960?
Well, in the 60s, they had the Vietnam War, they had the Flower Children, you had all these different rock and roll bands coming around. You had me, and it was kind of a mishmash of different things. And then in the 70s, or getting into the 70s, I guess you had women's liberation is in full force at the time, and a lot of political movements were happening.
Was it a better city or a
I
worse
think,
city, or?
no, I think a city can be better or worse depending on the day. I really don't think it's, oh yeah, this year it's bad. I mean, there's got to be some good in that year. Okay, so there's bad and there's good. And I think what has been good is that the city is really beautified. I think we've made the city beautiful. I think that we're trying to get our political leaders, trying to find the right political leaders. I think we're going in the right way that way. I think that this has become an entertainment capital. I mean, not the entertainment capital, but certainly a lot of the movies come here to film. The only thing I don't like is that I don't think that we take care of the elderly and the homeless enough. I think that is a shame and a crime, and that has gotten worse. That's the baddest thing I could think of.
You know, when I did the show about the 1940s, and I talked to a lot of old-time San Franciscans, you know, people in their 70s and 80s, and they all say the same thing. They say the 60s were terrible. It used to be such a beautiful, civilized city, and the 60s just ruined it all. And I don't feel safe walking down the street anymore, and I hated it.
I don't think the 60s ruined it. I mean, why don't we go back to the Roman Empire and say that the Romans destroyed cities in the fall of the Roman Empire? That must have been a bad day in Rome. I mean, it could, you know, what about the 1920s? What are they talking about? That was organized crime. That was, you're talking about your, who are they? Babyface Nelson. What was that guy that was on Alcatraz? Big Al. What was his name? Capone. They must have been around. Those people must have been living in those days, where they tell me that was a bowl of cherries or something, or they could really smell the roses that day.
What good came out of the 60s?
I think people really learned that drugs are devastating. That. I think that they also learned that freedom of sex, is not so free after all. If you want to play, you're going to pay. I mean, look at all the AIDS. And
Sort of learning
I
the
think,
hard way.
yes, and I also think the good that came out was a lot of established rock and roll bands, and a lot of people did establish themselves, me being one of them. I think that was the good. So like I said, there's good and bad in everything. Is that enough?
I don't know how much you want to talk about this, but can you just tell me that you're originally from San Francisco? So we established that.
Yeah, okay.
So did you grow up in San Francisco?
Are we on?
Yeah.
Yes, I would say I did.
I guess if you feel warmly about San Francisco as your hometown.
It's the only place I ever felt that I existed.
Why do you like this city above all others? What's great about this city?
Well, I think Tony Bennett said it really good. I left my heart in San Francisco. Just listen to the song, you'll know.